Hello everyone, so I'm going to show you how to use the generator to generate one player at a time, and then after that I will show you the XML Appender, which they can combine various XMLs that you have created into one, so you can do one import, as you can only in the pre-game editor do one import at a time, and then you have to, I think, merge editor data in the database changes, and then reload the database, and I think that allows you to do multiple imports of XML files, but obviously that's time consuming, so I've made the XML Appender to make it easier to import various records at a time. However, the FM26 generator is main for anything that it does is by batch generating, and obviously I'm going to show you how to use the batch generator such that you technically don't have to generate various XMLs. However, it depends on your configuration of what you want to make. You might want to do various individual generations rather than relying on the batch generator. You might want to make varying current ability, potential abilities with varying hitty heights, even though the batch generator can randomly assign all that. You might decide you want to do that, so obviously the XML Appender allows you to make lots of changes, and you can combine them all together in one and then import it as one. Anyway, let's get into the changer. Now, please ignore the name of this. It's only that because this is the beta version, because I'm introducing new features into the beta version. However, this one still runs fine. It's just not one that I'm going to publish at the moment. Right, so we go to single one player. Now the seed allows if you change the seed number, it just changes how it generates the values of the database, as well as how to import into the FM26 editor. You can keep the same seed because I have fixed the code such to do that. However, for each player, you're best to generate a new seed. As far as I'm aware, there isn't a limitation of seed number. I will run some tests, and if I find there is a limitation, I will post it in the post of what that is. Base year, obviously I want to change that to 2025, but if you're using, say, FM22, you'd want to change that to 2022. Now, I want to generate a player with a current ability of 140 and a potential ability of 185. and I want to use the age of 14, but however I can use the date of birth, which at the moment you see it says 13, so I would need to go back until December 2011, change that, and then it would become 14. You can import players younger than 14, but the game will only say that the player is 14 and not any younger. Don't know what sort of limitation that is, but that's part of the game. That's not something I can override. Now, you then can select a random height. Now, the minimum is 150 and the maximum is 210. So you could let it select, say, between 150 and 210, or you might want to say, I want a player that has a minimum height of 170 and a maximum height of 200. So it would allow you to do that, or you can go to a fixed height and you could say 195. So then you've got your feet, and you can select random, and it'll either pick left only, left, left only is a weighting of 20 plus a right foot weighting of 185. I believe that's what makes left only. If I'm wrong, please let me know and I will adjust the generator. Left, it would be left of 20 and say a right of between 6 and 14. I believe that is what would make a left footing that's not say left only, and that'd allow you to have where you have not a weak right foot, but obviously the player would be right footed, but they're not. You can't utilise both left and right strongly. And then you've got right only, right, and then both would be to 20 of each, or should be, unless the generator's not working right. But the last time I checked it was doing that. Then you've got an option of override, and then you could select your own. So I'm just going to select, oh yes, both is the day does make it 20 each. So the selecting random, I'm going to go with 1720, and then that's what they'll generate. Now, obviously, I'm going to show you once I import that all these figures are what thing. Then you can, for the wage, you can do a range. The minimum's 30, the maximum's 700,000. Although I don't see them they want to give a player, say, a wage of 700,000 by themselves, even if they were current ability 200 and potential ability 200. I would not be looking to do that personally. So me personally, I would set it up to 80,000. However, I'm going to use the fixed, and I'm going to give them a wage, because they're a youth player, a wage of, we'll just say 150. Then you've got your reputation, which the reputation in the game shows up of between 0 and 10,000. However, what I found was in editor, it is between 0 and 200. The editor shows up what each file, if you select one, what that corresponds to in game. So what I'll just show just now. So if we go to edit player and player data, so current reputation is 0. If we set it to 1, it would go to 50. I wonder if 2 would be 100. Yes, it is. So that's something I can add to the editor later that will show you what the reputation would actually be. Obviously, 0 to 10,000, but also I'm going to go with fixed, and I'm going to go 90, 70, and 50. Now this is what will show up in the actual in-game editor there, the 90, 50, 70 and 50. And then you'll be able to see what the game reputation actually is once it imports. Now you can set an automatic transfer value, which will go from 1 to 150,000. Now that is based on potential ability. It will set an automatic value. You can select fixed, and that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put a value of 175 million. Or you could select range, and you could select range of, I don't know, 100 million to 500 million, and it would pick a value between them two. I just need to make sure I've got the right master file. As I said, this is only me that has to do this because I've got the files stored in a different location. It's not something you would need to do, and that is not something you would generally need. You wouldn't need to do this change either, but I have to change it because this is not the right generator. As I say, I'm working with this show fitty file inputs. You can do that to change all the main one you probably want to change is the fitty output XML. I'll probably well, no, I won't, because you might want to do what I do and store the files somewhere other than in documents, the Sports Interactive Football Manager editor there. That's where I would recommend extracting them to. So just hide them, and then you've got show output. I will show you what that does in a minute. Now that is what will be helpful for me if you experience a bug. You would show the output and copy the output in error and paste it into the forum, and I can fix that then. Now club, you can randomly assign it based on the master file. Now I've just reloaded the master file because it's a different master file than the one that was originally there. So you can randomly assign the club, city of birth and nation. Now I'm going to go with fixed, and I'm going to right, 2 minutes. I need to. Why is that not detecting that file? Well, as you can see, I found a bug. Let's see. That should be, yeah, that one was the right one. Reload. Right. I am just going to do a wee trick here. So I'm going to copy the master library from here, and I'm going to paste it in here. The master library in here is out of date, or is not the one that is getting used. So by reloading that, it should, there we go. So we will select our as the club, city of birth, we'll select as Aberdeen, and we'll select nation Scotland. So that's what we're going to look at when we go into the thing. Now I'm going to select defender centre, and I'm going to make them also play in defensive left. Now you could select random position and it would automatically just pick a position, and it uses this probability down here to help say select how the player will come. So most probability would be for a one role only, so it would maybe just select defender centre. Now then you've got 2 roles at 18%, 3 roles at 13%. Now the version that I'll be uploading has the ability to edit all these. Now you can have 6 roles, 7 roles, or 8 to 10 roles, or probability of 1.4, and it'll randomly pick 8 to 12. Or you can have all 13 roles or probability of 0.5. As I say, these are edible in the other version I've got. And the primary role split, you can edit that as well, but I default is 15% goalkeeper, 35% midfielder, 35% midfield defender, and 15% the striker. So we'll just reset defender left. Now developmental positions is a position that the player might not be a natural in. So some players might come up as grey, yellow, or red in other positions, and this is what this developmental thing. So I'm going to go with fixed. You can either choose random, and then it has a chance of 15%. I'm just going to put a chance of 10%, and you could go with fixed and tell it you want all roles other than the primary roles to be set at 10, or you could select range, and you could select between 5 and say 13, and it will pick a random figure between them for each of the roles. Random will literally could pick one extra role, or it could pick, in this case, an extra 11 roles. So we'll just generate one player, and we'll show the output. As you see, it's generated successfully, and the name is FM26 single player XML. So then you would go to load database. Now the reason I've selected the age of 14 is it's easier to find the player, because there's very few players that are age 14, especially in Scotland. Then you import the file, if I can find it, FM single play player, load that, and then if we go to people, and now obviously I'm going to have to do a quite specific search to find this player, but I'll also do this just to show you it works. Also, whilst that's doing that thing, I will show you one of the other inputs that you can change. We'll just hide that. Now, you can use your own CSV first names and CSV surnames. I will just quickly show you what they look like. So, let's say first name, male first names. Now, eventually I'm going to introduce females as well. Now, all it is just literally you could go into Excel and just create a CSV file that has lots of different lines of player names. That's literally all it is. And you save it as a CSV. It's the same for surnames. Just quickly open with Notepad. It's all surnames like this. The seed also has an effect on what names will be picked randomly. Say, I can't remember the basis of it, but it just it affects how it picks names. Right, so nation of birth will be going Scotland. Let it load that. As you can see, database changes is 38. So I could just show you the database changes like that, and you can see the person and all the different information, but we'll just go into the database to show. And then we want person type, we want gender, and we want age. So player, male, at most 14, and then apply filter. So we have a player called Ewan Lancaster, and as you can see, they're 14, Aberdeen, Alloa Athletic, weight, height 195, date of birth 31st of the 12th 2011, Scotland, club contract Alloa Athletic. At the moment, these are not something that you can edit, but they will be. I will be allowing you to edit them soon. Same with date joined. The date joined is automatically assigned to the first date that you will be the beginning of the season. So person data, there's nothing in person data, sorry. General, so as you can see, 90, 70, 50, 140, 185, 175 million, 17, 20, and positions 2020, and it doesn't generate any developmental positions. It is completely, the random is completely random whether it will give them developmental, but if it had, it might have had 8 here, and that would have been it more likely would have been 8 here for wing back left or defender right, because it uses the current positioning to roughly assign what position it would be. But it can go defender centre to attacking midfield centre, defender centre to striker, defender left to attacking midfield left. It's got the ability to do that. It is just completely random how it does that. So that is how a player is generated and then imported into the game. And just to show the name and the player is the thing, so just go into the XML file, edit, and as you can see, Ewan Lang McAllister. Okay, so next video will be appending. Bye all.